Even on my birthday, I am taking some time to do this video. First of all, to say thank you to everyone that has sent a happy birthday wish or love or a comment. I appreciate all of your support. But I've been meaning to make this video the last couple of days, but I've been busy. I'm traveling. And I have to talk about Dorit playing in our face. I don't care about this divorce announcement. I want to talk about how she's playing in our face. I want to talk about Bravo, NBC Universal's press promo that they did almost to sort of change the narrative that has been surrounding Andy Cohen with this announcement about the renewal of certain shows. And Andy Cohen, the investigation that was completed and the claims made by Brandi Glanville and Leah McSweeney were found unsubstantiated. Okay. We also have to talk about the Vanderpump Rules season 11 on May 11th, season 11 finale. Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your #1 source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. We are still celebrating not just my birthday today. Happy Taurus season to anyone celebrating a birthday during the season or in the month of May. Happy May. And of course, we are still celebrating over 400,000 subscribers. So if you're a new subscriber here, welcome. Your opinion is, even if it's not the popular opinion, is welcomed here. So feel free to share your unpopular opinion. All right. And feel free to twerk on the fence because I probably will be doing that throughout this entire video. All right. And members, shout out to our channel members. I more than likely will be doing a separate members only live. Not sure exactly when, but make sure your notifications are on. Okay. All right. Shout out to our members. To become a member, head on over to teamkempire.com/join. All right. Enough promo. We'll get back to some more promo. The Vanderpump Rules season 11 finale has aired. And you know, normally the last couple of weeks, we've been talking about it during our Thirsty Thursday live show. So for some of you that have been saying, Kempire, did you stop recapping Vanderpump Rules? No, we just added it to us talking about The Valley, which I didn't watch this week's episode. But I did see that Jax has been coming at our faves. What is her name? Nia and, I should learn their names, right? Nia and Danny, right? I love them as a couple, but he wants to make it seem as if, oh, you know, all of the people are loving them and, you know, wait till the cookie crumbles. I don't remember what he said. I don't care. Jax, burn in gasoline drawers and leave them alone. We put prayer hands over this couple. At least one of these couples has to be a saving grace, a balance on this mess of a show. Okay, but I am still enjoying The Valley more than Vanderpump Rules. However, how would you guys rate the Vanderpump Rules season 11 finale from 1 to 10? I thought the finale was pretty good. Of course, it's them discussing the same thing that they've been discussing throughout the season. However, everyone is pointing out how Ariana basically threw production under the bus at the end of the end of the finale, but also in her confessional, basically saying, "I'm not going to be a part of Tom Sandoval's redemption arc." I can appreciate that. I can definitely appreciate her being honest about that. But let me tell you something. During the after show, I'm so glad that I saw this clip. Shout out to Bravo for posting this clip so that I can be like, this is why I twerk on the fence. Tom Sandoval is trash. What he did to Ariana was horrendous. But I also agree with Lala that, first of all, this is not fair to everyone else in this cast that we can't be friends with him, we can't film with him, and you're living in the same house with him. I know, you can say, well, maybe for financial reasons she has to live in the same roof, or maybe she's like, why should I move out? He should move out. I get it. I get it. But you are also on a reality show. Ariana says, well, look at my contract. Look at my contract. I'm only supposed to film what's real. Well, what's real, Ariana, is that you're living with your ex under the same roof. Yes, we got to see that, but here's the thing. I know a lot of people, Team Ariana or Ariana is queen. And look, I said before, shout out to Ariana for turning this situation, this horrendous situation. I wouldn't wish this on anyone, and I'm sure she wouldn't wish this on anyone either. However, I think a lot of people are on this cast because I don't believe a lot of them aren't real friends. I think a small few. I do believe that Sheena looked at Tom Sandoval as a friend. Vice versa, I think on To the capacity that Tom Sandoval can see you as a friend or human, yes. Because I do think there is something going on with Tom Sandoval that is definitely clinical. I'm not a psychiatrist or a psychologist, but I definitely feel like there's been a pattern of behavior for a very long time, and it was definitely diabolical, the lengths that he went in regards to this relationship with Ariana. Was this relationship with Ariana over years ago? Yes. Well, then you should have ended it. And I know what he said, and this is what they talked about during the season. This is what Sheena pointed out. You using her mental health against her was not good. At the end of the day, Tom, if you really wanted to leave Ariana, you would have left her, because you were more than willing to hightail it out of there now to go be with Rachel until Rachel told you, no, I don't want to be with you. You've done this before. Her threatening her life, I don't think that was the reason why you stayed. It benefited both of you. And I think the cast saw now, like, they were never showing their real lives. Yes, we know Tom Sandoval said that recently. I do believe that Tom Sandoval, although he is a liar, a pathological liar, I do believe that there are hints of truth in some of the things that he says. And I think a lot of people that have watched Vanderpump Rules the last 11 seasons have said, yeah, you could tell that they weren't giving us their full relationship. They were not doing that. So completely, again, does that justify what Tom Sandoval did? No. Does that justify production trying to give him this redemption arc? Well, that's their job. They're storytellers. So they feel like, oh, maybe they did it too soon. Sidebar, speaking of a redemption arc, you remember when this all played out in the blogs, where the guy at the finale party, was doing all of these antics and had to be thrown out. And then you see Tom Sandoval getting involved. Look, people speculate, was this a orchestrated situation? The way that Tom Sandoval was trying to get involved felt a little weird. It felt a little fake. It felt a little performative. Anyone else? It felt performative to me. It didn't feel real. But that could be just me. Because why are you, of all the people here, getting involved? So you can be Captain Save-A-Ho? That's the way it felt, watching it. Rewinding back time. Okay. I know Lala is getting it. I know Sheena is getting it. I'm sure Brock is getting it. I will say Brock and Lala have made the most sense. But I'm going to leave Lala out of it, because Lala has on the show asked these folks not to be friends or talk to her ex, Randall, who is not on the show. He's not filming with the show. And again, comparing what Randall has been accused of and what Tom has been accused of is apples and oranges. It's still betrayal, but Randall's stuff is on a whole other Diddy Harvey Weinstein level. Okay? I will say he has not been charged. Look, Randall. From what I recall, Randall has not been charged, but he's been accused. There have been multiple allegations against Randall. Okay? With that being said, Lala's far more interesting than Ariana. And I think that's why Ariana and Sheena, who's always been a pick-me, she's been a pick-me from season 1. At this point, I accept Sheena for the way that she is. Okay? I accept her for the way that she is. But I also believe that Sheena had a real friendship with Tom Sandoval. And of course, Tom took that moment at the end, trying to have a scene with Ariana. And I don't blame her for walking away. Good for you. At the end of the day, even if this is your last hurrah, make the most out of it. All of these people on this show, we said this before, I don't believe that there are real friendships amongst this entire cast. I believe all of them are out for self. Lala's out for self, Sheena's out for self, but I do believe Sheena and Tom had a relationship. And I did love that production pointed out Ariana's lying in regards to why Sheena would be concerned about her friendship with Ariana. I think Ariana pivoted at the end, making, I don't want you to be worried about our friendship. I love you. And then they play all the times where basically Ariana was saying, if you're friends with him, you can't be friends with me. You do, again, you have to think about the timeline of when things are being filmed. So maybe she did change her stance from the beginning of the season when things just popped off. If you're friends with him, you can't be friends with me. You could understand. But weeks have passed, a couple of months have passed. It's like, you don't need to worry about my friendship. if you're friends with him, but I cannot be around him. I don't want to be around him. I don't want to speak with him. I don't, honestly, at the end of the day, that's Ariana's right. She doesn't have to film with Tom. She doesn't have to be a part of this redemption arc for Tom. I can understand not wanting to be a part of a redemption arc for Tom. I say all that to say, it was definitely a decent season finale. And maybe part of why it was decent for all of us that watched it was because, it's over. It's over. And I don't know if the last time that we talked about Vanderpump Rules that we mentioned that they will not be filming this summer. And that's when they normally film. And Andy Cohen recently said, well, this is something that we used to do with the Real Housewives so that people could, sit there and live their lives and blah, blah, blah. I think there's some of that, but I also think that they want to figure out what are they going to do next with this group of people. They can't move forward with the way that things are, where there's such a division. Ariana, I love the fact that you've been able to spin this into multiple deals, an extension on Broadway. Hopefully you're collecting your coins, because at the end of the day, I haven't seen Ariana when she made her appearance on Love Island, but when they said that she was going to be the host, I can see her being the host because it doesn't take a lot of personality. You don't have to carry it. You're just sort of like moderating and segueing things. That might be the future for Ariana. But Ariana as a reality TV star, no. And now my elephant brain is working, even though I'm 1 year older. It's still working. When they pointed out in the after show where she was talking about not filming with Tom and everything like that, and she talked about being the #1 reality TV star of the year.
What would you say to those who might criticize you for walking away in that moment?
I would encourage that person to read my contract and find at any point in which I'm required to do anything that I don't deem real or that I don't want to do. And if you think I'm doing a bad job as a reality star, I'm reality star of the year, so maybe you know what I'm doing.
I was like, oh God, Ariana, you really are feeling yourself. You really are feeling yourself, girl. You're the #1 reality TV star of the year because of what happened. It really has nothing to do with anything that you did. Look, it had nothing. There is no, even her screaming and yelling at Tom and her reaction from the last reunion. None of that was so iconic. So iconic that people are going to sit there and remember. I don't even remember a line from it, but that's me. I'm not going to say that no one else will. Some of you probably will. You're not that memorable. Okay? I'm going to be honest, okay? For those of you new here and you're like, damn, who does he like on the show? Because I'm so confused. Like, one minute I feel like he likes Tom. Another minute I feel like he likes Ariana. But then I'm twerking on the fence. That's what twerking on the fence, okay? And a lot of our community probably feels the same way. You can see how, Tom, you're dead wrong. But Ariana, girl. Anyways, I'll insert the video at some point in here so you can see what she said. I say all of that to say, I'm glad the finale's over. I'm glad they're going to take a break. Of course, we have the reunion. I'm sure they're going to drag out this reunion. It probably will be 3 parts. We don't need that, but I'm sure they will. I did not get a chance to watch The Valley. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. The Valley, though, deserves a reunion. They definitely deserved a reunion, but this is their first season, so maybe there's a lot of things happening over at Bravo, which I think is a perfect segue to talk about Dorit. Oh, Dorit. Dorit, I'm tired of you playing in our face. I'm not going to bring up the incidents that happened in the last couple of seasons, but the timeliness of your storylines are very interesting to me. And production, I will never understand why exactly you allow Dorit to get away with what you allow her to get away with. There's so many stories about her financial issues and owing taxes and things like that. And those things never seem to come up. They never seem to come up. And maybe because the Fox Source flunkies were the ones sort of navigating and controlling the storylines. Speaking of, meeting and having storylines. That's what they've been accused of, the Fox Source flunkies. Maybe because they dominated the show for so long, that's part of the reason why Dorit and her storylines never emerged this way. So for those that have been under a rock, Dorit and PK have announced that they're going to be separating. This comes after, again, another year where they're about to start filming and they're talking about Dorit's been fired, Dorit's been demoted, only for another story, who I'm sure was given the story by Dorit, saying that no, she will be coming back. And this is what we got. This Instagram story where, mind you, she even put it in a post. Please pay attention to how these housewives, how these celebrities, not even just housewives or reality TV stars, how celebrities use the press to paint their own narrative. And everyone falls for it. But I'm here to tell you otherwise. So she posted this on Instagram and she says, "We as a couple have been subject to a lot of speculation about our marriage. We have had our struggles over the last few years and continue to work through them as two people who love each other and share two amazing children together. To safeguard our deep friendship and maintain a harmonious environment for our children, we have made the mutual and difficult decision to take some time apart and reevaluate our relationship while we prioritize our children. We appreciate your love and support while we continue to work necessary throughout this journey. With love, Dorit and PK." So they're not saying that they're getting a divorce like Kyle and Mauricio. Mauricio threw Kyle under the bus. I know Kyle was upset because Kyle every season is like, after this reunion, I'm not sure if I'm coming back. Kyle, if you don't shut up. I'm so annoyed. But Mauricio threw her under the bus. Yeah, they're supposed to be starting filming soon. After literally like a week ago, she was just like,
You confirm you're coming back for RHOBH? I can't confirm that. It's been hard. Like I said, when the talk started happening again, it was just really soon for me after everything last season. So, but I'll have an answer soon.
I know we're having conversations. I'm just not sure. Okay. Mind you, she just signed with a new talent agency as well. It's probably all negotiating. And then Mauricio throws a wrench in the situation. Speaking of a wrench, Dorit. So they make this announcement, not saying that they're getting a divorce. You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of Robin Dixon. This regular Robin. It's just when you thought I was going to stop saying it. Regular Robin. In this whole situation and her relationship that feels performative, that feels like it's just a business relationship. And yes, some marriages are a business relationship. Do I believe that Dorit and PK are in love with each other, madly in love with each other, and you're playing with their marriage just for television? No, I think that very much like Kyle and Mauricio, although I don't believe the timing of their announcement, I do believe that they are actively having issues, and they've had issues, but the timing of the announcement for television for me is very convenient. And I feel like, again, Dorit making this announcement days before they start filming. Girl, we're not stupid. I really wish I really wish the network would understand that the audience is not dumb. Yes, there's a select few that will fall for it because you guys are brilliant with your PR. But I am not falling for it, especially 3 seasons later where, again, very conveniently, and of course, yes, we do see a lot of people did not believe what happened to Dorit. 1 season and then another season while she was shopping at Target. I'm just saying, like, stop playing in our faces. Speaking of playing in our faces, let's talk about Andy Cohen. So Andy Cohen and Bravo, NBC Universal, they made an announcement officially through Variety about the shows that they will be renewing in 2020, right ahead of the upfronts where they announced their new shows. A lot of you were asking, what's happening with Summer House Martha's Vineyard? They did not make the announcement for that show. But then I'm also hearing the streets are talking that they're casting for this new season 3 of Summer House Martha's Vineyard. I think it's a good sign they got a reunion. I don't see why they would not renew this cast. It's cheap. It's a cheap show to do in comparison to the other shows. Speaking of being renewed, Watch What Happens Live. I know, I always come down off Watch What Happens Live. Rightfully so. But again, it's a cheap show. It's a cheap show to produce. And it's a platform for them to promote their other shows for the network. So that's part of the reason why this show is still around. I wouldn't say that it's that entertaining, okay? But one of the other things that came out from this Variety article was the announcement that the outside investigation that where the allegations against Andy Cohen from Brandi Glanville and Leah McSweeney, they said this outside investigation found those claims to be unsubstantiated. Let me just read to you what what Variety is writing in regards to this. Before NBC Universal's upfront presentation in New York City next week, Bravo has announced that it's renewing a slew of its shows, 15 in total. Among the renewals in its nightly show, Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen, putting to rest any speculation that the network is looking to cut ties with Cohen after being named in a lawsuit against the company by former Real Housewives of New York City star Leah McSweeney. Brandi Glanville, formerly of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, also has made some legal threats against Cohen. Okay, Cohen, the face of the Bravo. They've really put the face of the Bravo. Okay, and an executive producer of the Real Housewives franchise, will remain so. A spokesperson for Bravo told Variety the outside investigation into the recent allegations made by Brandi Glanville and Leah McSweeney against Andy Cohen has now been completed, and the claims were found to be unsubstantiated. So here's the thing, the timeliness of this. First of all, a lot of these announcements in regards to the renewals would have been made at the upfronts. The fact that they're using media right now to, it's like, oh yeah, we're announcing these shows are being renewed, and we're going to dispel that Andy's leaving the network by renewing his show, Watch What Happens Live, and also letting you guys also know that we did an outside investigation and all is good. All is good. Okay. I have to say something. I think if the Ramona Singer allegations from Ebony K. Williams, and mind you, these allegations weren't just from Ebony K. Ebony K. was being an advocate for other employees that had experiences with Ramona and accusations. And according to Ebony, they were corroborated. However, these investigations by outside sources for NBC Universal, they said that they were unsubstantiated. Ramona Singer. I want to remind you, a lot of Ramona's bad behavior, we've seen on the show. It's been recorded. We've even seen it on social media. All right. I just want to emphasize, I'm not saying that Leah McSweeney and Brandi Glanville are reliable resources of information, but I also want to emphasize to you that Andy came out when Brandi made that accusation against him and said, well, this was the context. However, it was inappropriate. So my question to Bravo, and I'm sure it's not in this article, I'm sure it's in the investigation, what are the corrective actions for Andy Cohen? Yes, you're saying that these claims were found to be unsubstantiated, but what was found? He admitted the comment that he made and the call that he made to Brandi Glanville that was inappropriate. Will he be reprimanded for that? I just want to know, were there some corrective actions? So if you ever get to interview Andy Cohen, anybody, be it a blogger, a media outlet, I mean, a lot of these media outlets are not going to ask those questions. My question, what were the corrective actions? Because just because the claims were unsubstantiated doesn't mean that his own correction on social media, where he says it was inappropriate what I said to her, who is, again, although people want to say that Andy Cohen is not a person that hires and fires at NBC. He's still a superior to anyone that works over at NBC. Anyone over at NBC will consider Andy Cohen a superior because he's an executive of their popular show. He has a show on there. You're not going to, just because he doesn't actively hire and fire people, that's not his official job, doesn't say to me he doesn't have influence. He's a part of those conversations. So I just want to know if there were any corrective actions, but I'm sure he will make his own corrective actions. Like, this was a big deal for NBC Universal. I didn't realize how big of a deal it was until it started playing out. I didn't think that they were going to fire him. Definitely did not. But they were definitely putting their power behind it because of the reality TV reckoning and things like that. So I wanted to give you guys a quick little update on my birthday. I hope you appreciate it. I hope you all are doing well. And if your birthday's coming up, happy early birthday. Or if you're celebrating your birthday today or celebrating maybe you're celebrating an anniversary. Maybe you're celebrating sobriety. Congratulations. We're all here together, blessed and highly favored. Guys, as always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. Thanks for watching.
lighter. I got the fuse. You make a fire. I'll ask you. Follow me, Leah.